Hey guys, I'm Brianna Gallagher and my topic is on animal research. Animals being used during research is nothing new. Our makeup is tested on them, perfumes, and our medications. This has been happening since we started discovering new products. We have been testing them on poorly treated animals who have been locked in cages and underfed. We test on animals to see what will happen to humans when we put it on our skin or into our body. Although we currently have newer ways to test these products to see what side effects occur, we still decide to test on these cute, innocent animals. Animal testing has been around for hundreds of years, and it's used in a variety of different things like cosmetics, psychology, and pharmaceuticals. Drug testing didn't become popular until the late 1930s when a pharmacist created a drug that contained a compound toxic to humans. He didn't test the drug beforehand on any animals, and that could have prevented a mass poisoning and deaths of hundreds of people. This led to the passing of the 1938 Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, which required all products to be tested on animals before they could be put on any shelves. Around this time, another drug incident occurred where pregnant women were taking a drug to relieve morning sickness symptoms, but it ended up causing birth defects in their babies, such as missing limbs. This occurred in several different countries. Around this time, a campaign known as the 3 R's campaign was developed. The 3 R's stand for replacing animals with non-living models, reducing the use of animals, and refining animal use techniques. Although animal testing is a horrible thing to put animals through, it has gotten a lot better over the years. In the past, scientists would put animals into these small cages with other animals of the same species. They would be in there for a majority of their life until it's their turn to be a scientist test dummy. Living in these cages can make the animal feel stressed and anxious. Depending on the type of the procedure, some of these animals can be forced to avoid eating or drinking for however many days the scientist decides. According to the article, more than 25 million animals are used in experiments each year. You probably think that's a lot, but that's only counting the animals like dogs, cats, rabbits, pigs, monkeys, chimpanzees, etc. However, smaller animals like rats, mice, birds, and cold-blooded animals aren't required to be documented. The article estimates if you count all of those excluded animals, it could be tens to hundreds of million animals that are used each year. Can you imagine being one of those smaller animals and knowing that your life doesn't matter and scientists can do anything to you without documenting that proof? Some of these experiments can cause intense itching or burning on the animal skin, especially if it's in the cosmetic category. Other animals are purposely poisoned to test how toxic a drug or a substance can be. This test can last up to 2 years, and they're exposed to that toxin every single day. Some are immobilized, possibly for days, even months, and given an electric shock somewhere on their body. If it's given in their brain, it can cause brain damage, and they can lose their vision. Most animals usually die before their study ends due to the excruciating procedure they're put through. These animals never get to see the sunlight or breathe the fresh air because they're put straight into that lab. In 2009, an observation study was done in a lab that focused on monkeys. It showed that the monkeys in the lab would spin, bite open any wounds they had, rip their hair out, and just go crazy. They and many other animals suffer from stress-induced psychosis from being inside the lab in that cage for so long. Everyone has different views on whether we should continue to test on animals or not, but I think one thing we could agree on is that hundreds of millions of animals being tested on is a lot. Animal testing isn't the only way. There are several diverse ways that scientists can test on the body to see how it will react. R.G. Fries says one alternative is testing on humans. This will give you the most accurate results, but some people will say it's unethical. You can twist it so you can test it on prisoners on death row. Another way is to ask people to donate blood, and you could test drugs or anything directly into your bloodstream that way. The scientists can also grow and colonize their own stem cells. And also, instead of completely just replacing animal testing, there is ways and laws that can be strongly implemented to make this kind of a better process. One of these is that laws should be stronger and implemented. The 3 R's, replacing, reducing, refining, should be used in all laboratories, and any laws, rules should be discussed on an international level so all countries are on the same page. And animal testing isn't something anyone can do, and there's tons of institutions that do it. The AWA, or Animal Welfare Act, is one of the only laws that protect animal testing. There's about 8,000 licensed facilities and only about 100 licensed inspectors, so it's really hard to keep up on making sure all of these institutions are up to par. The AWA says that each facility has to have a IACUC, which makes sure there's a minimum of 3 people on this committee. 1 has to be a veterinarian, 1 has to be someone who's not involved with this facility, and they basically decide if a procedure is humane and just make everything run smoothly. Animal testing is both a blessing and a curse, and no matter what side you take, you should consider all the alternative possibilities. They'll reduce how many animals we use each year and won't put anyone or anything in distress. These poor innocent animals shouldn't be treated unfairly and tortured for your lipstick or hand lotion. There should be stricter laws put in place and more frequent checkups done by the USDA to make sure animal testing laboratories are up to their standards. Thank you for listening.